Dan, I want to start with you. Forgiving student debt sounds great. Look, I wish somebody paid my student loans, but what is the problem with this process that Joe Biden wants to happen, as well as Elizabeth Warren?
The problem, Allison, is that they're saying it's really needed in order to stimulate the economy, and that's simply not true. This has nothing to do with stimulating the economy. If you want to stimulate the economy, you get people jobs. That's what it's about. This whole situation, almost $1.6 trillion of student debt that's out there right now, has been caused for a couple of reasons. One being, I would say, similar to 2008, some predatory lending policies. Why? Because student loans were being given to people that essentially couldn't afford to take on that kind of debt. And now it puts them in a position where they simply can't pay for it. That's not all their fault. That's one piece of this. The other piece is this. In the last 30 years, the rate of inflation has been doubled by the rate of tuition increase. So you simply have colleges and universities that are charging way too much for the education they're providing. It's just not necessary.
Yeah, I started looking. My daughter's a freshman in high school, and she's, of course, already thinking about college. I started looking at the tuition. It's crazy. Dan, you're a professor. Have you talked to your students about this?
We have talked about this, and what I really believe here is going to happen, Allison, eventually there is going to be a push towards online education, which can absolutely be delivered much more cost efficiency with cost efficiency than we have right now. And what's going to happen is that the universities that aren't making the changes, not just moving to the online education format, but to be able to do it cheaply, I'm going to go with Amazon University being right around the corner. They have the infrastructure to be able to do something like this. Yeah. And we already know Amazon is getting into everything. Look out for Amazon U.
They are. Aaron, Dan says this is a bad idea. I guess the big question is how are we going to pay for this?
Exactly. Canceling of student loans is both dangerous and insidious. First of all, these are legally binding contract agreements. You just can't cancel a contract. The terms are very specific. The conditions are very specific. Moreover, what do you say here to the hardworking Americans that decided to save their money, take fewer vacations, get an extra job, and pay for their college themselves? Are they going to get some kind of tax break here? This sends a very devious message to the American people at large. And canceling student loans, where is this money going to come from? Where is it going to go? This is not going to stimulate the economy. This is going to crash the economy.
Yeah, Julio, Aaron brings up a good point. In the meantime, during the pandemic, President Trump, he gave Americans a forbearance on their student loans and interest rates in order to help them during this difficult time. Do you think that was enough, or do you think students need more help, like what Elizabeth Warren wants to happen?
Well, I mean, students need to be more responsible about their decision-making process. And this is very relevant to me right now. I have a daughter who's a senior in high school, and almost on a weekly basis, I implore her to look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics and other websites to see what the emerging industries are. You know, what jobs are in demand, what jobs will pay the most. The problem is it is very predatory, as Daniel points out. You know, it's an entire machine, you know. People go to their guidance counselors. Their guidance counselors in high school tell them, what do you want to be when you grow up? Not so much, what do you need to be when you grow up to go ahead and support yourself? And, you know, there's no possible way that this stimulates the economy. What it does is it creates a bad precedent to these young adults that in the future, you will not be held accountable for the mistakes that you make. And that's just unacceptable in America.
Yeah, I think a lot of people agree with that. Daniel Geltrude, thank you so much for joining us today.